Hello and welcome to Todd Rolls Dice, where we're going to take a look at the potential changes coming to Kill Team. I say potential, we know that there's big changes coming, and before we get into the previous article talking about in the future when these changes would occur, I'm just going to run through the homework a little bit, show you my workings, make sure we're all kind of on the same page with the information that's come from Warcom. But Kill Team has had a massive week last week. The third, potentially final box of next season leaked everywhere. Basically everywhere. So much of it leaked, the Games Workshop had to throw out 2 articles talking about the Kill Team leaks. But that sort of leaves me with some questions about the future of the game, teams and things. Because if it is a 3-box season, which is absolutely fine, we're losing more than we're gaining in November. But I think this is something that a lot of people maybe just have forgotten or haven't quite realised. At some point in the next 4 months, we think November time, everything seems to point to November. And I'll tell you why I think that as we go through these articles. But there is a huge swathe of Kill Team teams that are being removed from competitive play. Not from the game, you can still use them. The app is going to be a bit of a question mark. I don't know if they would remove these data profiles from the app. I'd hope not, but I don't know. But there's things happening at Games Workshop with Kill Team that I want to talk about, I want to highlight, I want to hear your thoughts, so let me know what you think as we go through this. But first up, this is an article that dropped about 3 weeks ago now. We did cover it previously. I probably won't, I'll link a Kill Team video at the end of this. Probably not this one, maybe the one that's talking about the leaks, we'll see. But we did cover this, it is in the Kill Team playlist if you want to check it out on the channel and see my thoughts. We got the usual big quarterly update. There's no huge, this one there was huge changes, wasn't there? It's the Middle Earth one that didn't get changes. But it gives you a breakdown of the top 5 changes to certain things, and it very much felt to me like they were tweaking things for indoor use, let's say. As we move into Tomb World, they want to get the rules in a fairly solid place so certain teams aren't overpowered in the close confines of a Tomb World. But one of the big things was this paragraph here, right at the bottom. So I'll read this, then we'll jump over to the approved ops article, and that gives us a little bit more information. So updates on the classified format are approaching, along with the annual rotation. These updates will be made to the approved ops tournament companion, which will be found on the Kill Team app and on Warcom after the World Championships of Warhammer in November 2025. And confirmation that Strikeforce Varial, the new Space Marine Heroes, Dark Angels, Blind Box series that they're doing, will not be part of the classified format. So the classified format, my understanding, and hopefully we'll refresh this with the final article we look at, classified is what you'd use in tournament and tournament-like arenas. So official Games Workshop tournaments, potentially even third-party tournaments, and anybody else that's running tournaments. Probably going to go down the classified route, but it will definitely be something that Games Workshop enforce at their official tournaments moving forward. And we know quite a few of the Kill Team 2021 teams are going to be disappearing. So that confirms all of that is happening, and these big changes are coming in November sometime, but after the World Championships of Warhammer. And actually, we do know when this is. So the World Championships of Warhammer are held in Atlanta, Georgia between the 6th and the 9th of November. So middle to end of November is when I would expect these Kill Team changes. They're not going to rock the boat before then. We are going to be getting Tomb World and the new Critical Ops deck before this, a couple of months before this. So there will be a couple of changes and some new teams, but we won't be losing any Kill Teams competitively before the 9th of November. Just so we're all on the same page here. I'm trying to get as much information as possible, so bear with me, but hopefully all of this is coming together and making sense. The other bit I wanted to jump over, so we know that these changes are coming. We did get the article on the Approved Ops Deck 2025, and just down the bottom here, this says, Approved Ops Deck 2025 will be coming out shortly before the hotly anticipated arrival of Kill Team Tomb World, which has been confirmed to be going up for pre-order in the next few weeks. So I would expect that we see this potentially on, it might even be Sunday coming, or the other option is the first weekend, the first Sunday in September is going to be when the Tomb World pre-order is previewed. That's the 7th of September. Would put it releasing around the 20th of September. Those dates kind of feel right for the next big box. That's about 3 months on from Typhon, but we'll see. All of this stuff is kind of up in the air, but we're trying to get an idea of when these changes are happening. this approved ops card pack is bringing some pretty big changes to that competitive side as well. So this will drop and kick in, depends how quickly it will be adopted, but I would have thought by November this will be the standard way of playing competitive Kill Team. And then that timeline brings us up to Tomb World, which brings in 2 new teams and a whole new arena to play Kill Team in. Going indoors again, as we all know, we've talked about that quite a lot previously. But what's going to happen to the older teams? We're jumping back to the 6th of September 2024. Kill Team, managing the range of kill teams in the new edition. So this was an article that dropped before Kill Team 4th edition was previewed and released. This was the sort of build up to it. And they're just letting people know that there is going to be some hefty rotation as they move forward. I think what's going to happen with this is that basically the teams will be removed from the Kill Team side of things. Their packaging will be changed to just be Warhammer 40,000, because all of these kill teams have Warhammer 40,000 rules. That's my take on it. I don't think they're going to be removed. Potentially in 11th, they may be removed from Warhammer 40,000, but I don't expect that at all. So what we're going to do is just run through this article in full, because I think almost 12 months on, we probably have a better idea of the release slate of these new editions, how they're doing things. And with everything that we know in the last couple of articles we've looked at, maybe we can start to piece together what's actually happening, and come that November point in the Kill Team calendar, what we're actually going to be losing. I don't expect us to be losing all of the teams from the last edition, but I think we're going to see 8, maybe 10 disappearing. Just to confirm, again, I've mentioned this, but I'll mention it again, I am only talking about competitive play at official Warhammer tournaments and potentially other tournaments. This is just for official tournaments. In your friendly games at home, in your games in the store, I have absolutely no reason to believe that you wouldn't be allowed to use any of these teams that could be disappearing. But let's run through this, and then we'll go over the teams, and then we'll see where we're going, because actually I've just had a look at the teams that could be going from that first season. There's some really interesting little bits. But the new edition of Kill Team is performing final weapons checks before it drops into a hot LZ. Tom from the Kill Team design team has written an article on what to expect over the lifetime of the new edition. So with the success of Kill Team, and that has continued with this first year, and the incredible engagement from the incredible community I'm going to throw out there, I think Kill Team's community is pretty solid. We've been hard at work crafting an even better experience. Our goal, keep the game exciting for veterans and accessible for newcomers, while maintaining balance and avoiding unnecessary complexity. First question, how do you feel they've done that with the first year of Kill Team 2024? We've taken great care and pride in refining the rules, product design, and everything in between for the new edition. One of the main focuses has been on managing the growing range of kill teams to ensure everyone gets to enjoy their miniatures to the fullest. At launch, the new edition will feature 33 kill teams, with their rules updated and balanced for the new edition, all available for free online, which is true. We have the app, and those 33 teams were in the app, as well as all the new ones that have come out since. You'll be able to get them on Warcom and the app, we've just touched on that. As we release new teams, rules will be made available in the same way, which is true, to ensure a consistent and accessible experience for everyone. This online first rules method will allow us to keep the rules directly updated and freely available, and will provide an ever-growing number of new teams, future kill zones, and updates directly to the community. Quick point, this is the first time, to my knowledge, that Warcom, or Games Workshop as a whole, have done an online first, mostly digital delivery and free for these rules. I've got to give them credit for it, because they should be doing it for everything, and I hope that we see this in Age of Sigmar and 40k down the line. They did it with Spearhead as well, which is the Age of Sigmar, not quite kill team, but the Age of Sigmar smaller skirmish game. This is the way forward, and generally I think that they've done well. The updates have been pushed out pretty good. They've mostly given us articles of when updates have happened. Sometimes we've had to go digging around, but honestly I think the rules delivery has been pretty spot on. I can't fault it. But from now on, every kill team will receive consistently updated rules. For 2 editions, updates will be quarterly, while smaller adjustments may be made as required. I think they've stuck to that as well, to be honest, mostly. Every team will remain in the product range for 4 full seasons. Seasons generally last 12 months, though they can be longer or shorter as required. This is to ensure a manageable range that we can keep in stock. The meat of this, and the big change coming in November, classified kill teams. Teams that are currently available in the kill team product range are labelled classified. This indicates that they are the ones currently recommended for tournament play. The teams below are currently classified, and this list will be updated after the first season of the new edition comes to a close. When a team leaves the product range, it leaves the classified list. So what is classified for? The list will be used to ensure fairness, stability, and availability for major Warhammer events such as the US Opens and the World Championships of Warhammer. We will provide an event companion document containing all the guidance you need to run your own tournaments in a similar way, but that doesn't mean that your favourite team won't be playable. For example, Commandos will be classified through the first season of the new edition, which they have been. The box will leave the range when the season comes to a close, and the Commandos kill team will leave the classified list. You can still enjoy playing them in all other settings except from classified tournament play, and they will continue to receive updates, including for balance, until the end of this edition. So 2027, if we're still on that we are on a 3-year cycle, aren't we? So 2027, that new edition of Kill Team, Commandos will drop off. So for this new edition, Commandos have had a full 12 months of support in the classified setting, and now they're unclassified, I'm going to go with, but once they move into unclassified, you will not be able to play them at official tournaments, but you can still play them in pickup games and just enjoying them and having fun with friends, but they will still get balance updates until the end of this Kill Team 2024 edition, which is 3 years. I've got to admit, I think that's pretty good. It's never good to lose models and things that you love and teams that you love playing. None of this is going to be exactly good, but how they're handling it and promising that they will keep those updates coming if they need to, even though they're not competitive or meant for competitive play, I think that's a good thing. But our first team that we know will be changing in November is Commandos. For the vast majority of players at clubs, in leagues and playing with friends, every team, classified or not, will provide a fun and fair gaming experience, while your miniatures may also be used in solo and co-op players NPOs, which you absolutely can. We're excited to see what other events the community runs, including joint ops and narrative events, and we would love for you to include the full list of teams at those events. Has there been a narrative event? I'm not really in tune with the Kill Team community in events and things, but if there is narrative events, let me know. I would love to go to a narrative event or a joint ops event. Oh, that'd be amazing. That's more my speed. But they're just confirming there that you are not going to never play that team again. We're committed to ensuring every Kill Team gets the spotlight it deserves and that every player can enjoy their miniatures with access to the most up-to-date rules. Thank you for your ongoing passion and support. We can't wait to share more of what we've been working on. Stay sharp, operatives, and get ready for an exciting journey ahead. I'd forgotten that they had done this document, but this gives us a pretty good idea of what's going on. So, the teams that we're going to be losing in November. Let me rephrase that. The teams that we're going to be losing for competitive play at competitive tournaments and no other area of play at all are Commandos, Death Corps Krieg or Vet Guardsmen, Novitiates, Pathfinders, Legionaries, Corsair Voidsguard, Blooded, Phobos Strike Team, nobody will miss those though, will they? Void Dancer Troop, Warp Coven, Wormblade, Hunterclade, Galapox Infected, and the Elucidian Starstriders. I've just had a look on the Warhammer website, looking at Kill Team and then just filtering by Kill Team, and I'm just skimming over what we have compared to that list, and it looks like, sadly, a lot of these teams have already been removed. You can still buy the Blooded, you can still buy the Voidsguard, everything else has disappeared. So Pathfinders is an interesting one because Pathfinders have an upgrade sprue that is available in the Tau Combat Patrol, but they've disappeared as well. Right, that throws up more questions. Are we going to lose the Kill Team upgrade sprue? Doesn't actually mention which Pathfinders are in. I always thought that the Pathfinders it doesn't show them off at all. Maybe the new Tau Empire Combat Patrol doesn't have the upgrade sprue. Maybe we are going to be losing that stuff. Oh hell, that's just from a model range. That sucks. Okay. Warp Coven never had a team. Void Dancer Troop never had a team, like a boxed team. So you can still buy Void Scarred, you can still buy Blooded. Legionaries, I think, have lost the Kill Team sprue. Yeah, that's the old Legionaries box. This is the weird thing that Warhammer did. They didn't actually stop selling the original Pathfinders without the upgrade sprue. They didn't stop selling the original Chaos Legionaries without the extra weapons and stuff. The Phobos Strike Team are probably gone as well. Right, okay. Gallowpox Infected and Elucidian Starstriders have been gone for a while. Wormblade, Hunterclade, Warp Coven and Void Dance Troop were all White Dwarf teams. They never had boxes. Right, okay. This is a little, I'm not going to say concerning, but I am going to say if you wanted any of these teams and you hadn't yet picked them up, if you can find them, now is the time to buy them. If you want these boxes, or you want any of the extra sprues, the Kill Team sprues that came in with the Pathfinders, the Legionaries, I think that was it. Phobos as well had an upgrade sprue. So, Deathcore of Krieg. I'm pretty, that is the Kill Team box. Because that box was so ingrained with the upgrade sprue, it was just a whole new Kill Team box that now has rules in. Right, so what's happened is that Deathcore Troops box that was the Kill Team, that did make the Kill Team, has just been transported over to the Deathcore of Krieg as a Troops box. But that's really the only one that we can point to. And it looks like the price has been dramatically reduced. I'm not 100% sure on that. It is just a Warhammer 40,000 branded box. It looks to me like all of the Kill Team options are there, but we don't get sprue views anymore, and they haven't built them as the Kill Team. There's a few options in there that were specific to the Kill Team, and I'd be very surprised if they removed one of the sprues, but at £31.50 through Games Workshop, and when they do say it's a highly versatile kit, which it's true, it is, I'd be very surprised if they had removed it. I mean, there's things like binoculars and stuff would already be in there. I don't really know. I definitely think the upgrade sprue is still in with the Deathcore of Krieg box for 40k. So while the rules are going, you can still get those models. As expected, because they got a whole new army range not that long ago. But everything else has pretty much disappeared. You could still buy a Warp Coven team, a Void Dancer Troop, Wormblade and Hunterclade. You would have to just buy the relevant kits and kit bash and build them to however you want your operatives. But that's what's going to be going in November. Some pretty big teams. Deathcore was huge at the time. Commandos have been big right the way through last edition and this edition. Pathfinders have definitely caused trouble at times. Warp Coven 2, Void Dancers, again. Phobos, I don't think anybody will miss. Blooded had some really cool mechanics, that'll be sad to see them go. Corsair Void Scarred, if that kit goes, there isn't anything else in the Eldar range like it. They were very unique, very cool, but very unique. So if that goes, maybe it just goes. I don't know if... I mean, the Corsair Void Scarred must have rules in the Eldari Codex. Wormblade I can see going because the Brood Brothers Kill Team has replaced it. Hunterclade, the Mechanicum just got their new one with all the servitors, so they now have a bespoke kill team. Gallowpox Infected, Elucidian Starstriders have just vanished. I don't know if the Gallowpox have rules in probably the Death Guard Codex that just came out. I've not looked into that. But the Elucidian Starstriders have rules for 40k, but I don't think you can buy their models. No, Starstriders are not a thing anymore. I mean, that's a lot. This list hasn't actually been updated yet, has it? No, they've not gone anywhere near this. So either this article will be updated, or they will release a new article with this list, or they'll just do a download with this nearer the time. We haven't had anything new. No, they haven't been updated for a couple of weeks. Good. They don't need to be updated anytime soon. But just to confirm, it looks like the teams that will be losing in November for competitive play and tournament play only: Commandos, Deathcore, Novitiates, Starstriders, Legionaries, Corsair Void Scarred, Blooded, Phobos Strike Team, Void Dancer Troop, Warp Coven, Wormblade, Hunterclade, Gallowpox Infected, Elucidian Starstriders. I don't know if they will be removed from the app. They shouldn't be, because they do say you can still enjoy playing them in every other aspect other than classified tournament play, and they will receive updates, including for balance, until the end of this edition, and this edition has another 2 years to run. So the rules will still be available in the app. It might be the models that you can't get because a lot of these teams have already vanished. Pathfinders, you can buy a box of Pathfinders. You don't have that upgrade sprue in that box. You can buy a box of Legionaries. They don't have the upgrade sprue. Phobos, I didn't look for Phobos Strike Team because nobody really cares. But the Phobos Strike Team is not available to buy as a box with the upgrade sprue through Games Workshop. Third-party retailers will probably still have stock in, but this is a huge shake-up. And we're going to go through this next year, 2026, end of 2026, with all of these teams and everything that came out post-Vespids and Volcus and pre-Tomb World. But that's more than 12 months away. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But that's a lot. So I mentioned that this was interesting. Sisters are losing novitiates, but they're gaining this new Witch Hunter kill team. The opposite box to that was the Murder Wing, which was Chaos with jump packs. Could that be the Legionaries replacement? They already have a Legionaries replacement with Night Lords, which is basically the Legionaries box with an upgrade sprue. But the upshot is, we are losing 14. We've gained 8 brand new kill teams with brand new models, all purpose built with kill team in mind. Obviously you can use them in 40k, they've all had 40k datasheets, but we have had some fantastic new models. But that's 8 that have been introduced into the range. We're losing 14. And alright, at this point, you're probably only going to miss Commandos, Deathcore, some will miss Void Dancers, some will miss Warp Coven. Hunterclade have been superseded, probably by the new Server to Kill team. Wormblade was superseded by Brood Brothers. I'm speaking faction-wise more than playability and how they run. But this is going to be a huge shake-up for the Kill Team competitive community from November. And I'm more interested in how independent tournament organisers are going to deal with this. Because as they say, for official Warhammer events and major Warhammer events like US Opens, World Championships, these teams right here will be gone. You won't be allowed, you won't be eligible to play them. So if you are uber competitive, if you're going to these events, if you are playing Kill Team at the highest levels, and you are still playing one of these, you're going to have to find a new team. I suppose Commandos were superseded by the Tank Busters. So Orcs do have a new team. It's a completely different playstyle. Tau have a couple, but there isn't anything that is true Tau. There's Kroot and there's Vespid. How teams are releasing and what we're losing, obviously you would want every faction to be represented in some way, and it isn't. There's still a few factions that are probably missing some representation. Chaos has a lot of representation, but there's a lot of different facets of Chaos that are being represented. But 3-4 Chaos armies are going to be going. Only 1 Space Marines, and it's the worst Space Marines. So let's not worry too much about that. It's probably the least used team. Void Scarred could be a miss, because there isn't any other weird Aldari stuff. You've got the Aspect Warriors, but that's not necessarily for everyone. I don't know, I think looking at this article has thrown up more questions in my mind. Certainly the fact that the Warhammer website is missing loads of these teams that were up for order probably a month ago. I'm pretty sure last time I looked at the Kill Team roster of available kill teams, most of these were still available. Very interesting. Anybody who's bought the Deathcore Troops box, let me know if there is a little extra sprue, tiny sprue, with some cool little additional equipment and weapons and things. Because it looks to me, and this isn't 100%, but it very much looks to me like the Deathcore have kept all of their accessories, but they're just going to be useless in 40k. All of these other teams that were already pre-existing kits are going to lose all of those extra options. I know that you need to thin the range down. I know they need to make it more manageable, and if they're going to release minimum 8 kill teams every year, well minimum 6, looking at the new season. But if they're going to be releasing 6, 8, maybe more White Dwarf kill teams potentially every year, they need to rotate this stuff. But the fact that you can't buy any of these units at all outside of the Deathcore, the Pathfinders, well no you can't. For Kill Team you can't buy these units. You can buy them for 40k, but it's the bog standard no upgrade unit. I find that really interesting. And I wonder if we're starting to see, and maybe 11th will confirm this, and whatever article comes out in November will hopefully confirm this. But maybe we're starting to see that divide between Kill Team and 40k grow, because I'm sure the last few data sheets that we've had, the free ones for Typhon and for the box before Typhon, it didn't take into account all of the cool little nuances. No, the Tyranids one did. There were 2 Ravnica type teams that had data sheets for 40k. I don't know what's going on then. I have more questions, but it sounds like a lot of these upgrade sprue teams are just going to be vanishing, and those cool little upgrades are not going to be available for anybody who wants to own them and buy them anymore, officially. Crazy, absolutely crazy. As we learn more, as we see more, as an article drops, I'll absolutely cover it on the channel, so stay tuned. Do we need to be worried? I don't think we do, but obviously losing teams, losing a lot of teams as well, that's a big chunk of the teams that we started this year with. It's a big shake up to the game, and I guess that's what they wanted. But let me know what you think in the comments below. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.